This is exponential growth and decay. So make sure you look at these formulas so that you know them. Okay, so part of your quiz questions are going to be, do you know what all these letters represent, what all these parts of the formulas represent? So it looks like they're really complicated in these three formulas, but they're really very similar. So if you'll notice here, the only difference is if something is growing, so it's getting bigger, it's 1 plus R. But if it's getting smaller, it's going to be 1 minus R. So you should be able to tell which one you're using, which one is your amount growing or getting smaller. And the other thing is we have a compounded interest. And you'll know if it's a compounded interest problem because it will say compound interest. And then the only additional thing with that is we add in, right here, n's the number of times it's compounded. So you put that under R and then times T. So there's slight changes. But work on these, try to have those memorized. So let's look at a couple examples. So the first one says, Maria's parents invested $14,000 at 6% per year, compounded monthly. So it says compounded monthly. So I know I need to use the compound interest formula. So I have it written down here. So now I basically just need to fill it out and see what I have. So P is principal, or my initial amount, so that's $14,000. And then I have R. So remember that R is the annual interest as a decimal. So here's something to watch out for. Make sure you do the decimal correctly. So I have 6% interest, but that's 0.06 whenever I move it to a decimal. So I have 0.06, and then in number of times each year, so it's compounded monthly, so that means it's compounded 12 times a year. So N is 12, and then T is 10 years. So you have that. Now that's the main part, but make sure you still get the correct answer. So you need to be able to use your calculator correctly. So the first thing I'm going to do to make it a little bit easier is I'm going to divide these. And I'm going to multiply those. Okay, so that will help you to get everything done in the right order. So then I just need to add 1.005 to this power. So add these, take it to that power, and then multiply it times 14,000. And this is what you get. And I round it to 2 decimal places because we're talking about money, so I'm going to round it to the nearest cent. Okay, next one. A radio station is sponsoring a contest, and the prize begins as a $100 gift card. Once a day, the DJ announces the name, and the person has 15 minutes to call. If it doesn't call, the price increases by this much. If no one wins, what's it worth after 10 days? Okay, so let's look at that. So I don't see anywhere where it says compounded. So I'm not using that one. And I know the price is increasing, so I use the one that's plus. So A is my initial amount. It's $100. Of course, R is my rate of change as a decimal. So watch out for this. It's as a decimal. 0.025. And then T, we're talking about 10 days. So make sure on your calculator you know how to put this in correctly. So 1.025, so I add those together. Take it to the power, so that's to the 10th. And then multiply by 100. And then I round it to the nearest cent.